Yeah, let's start with the draft. And you made your own sort of top 10 list.
Yeah, it's really hard to go through all 32 picks in the first round. Would be here forever. But what we did, we just decided to go ahead and look at what is projected for the top 10 choices on this draft board. Now, there have been no trades as of now. Everybody owns their first round picks. That's never happened before since 1967. But that does not mean that there might not be something that's going to happen. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Tennessee, it appears universally, is going to take the Miami Hurricane quarterback, Cam Ward. Most everybody of the opinion he's a gunslinger. And suddenly, in the last 24 hours, now the story is surfacing. Tennessee Titans are shopping last year's starting quarterback, Will Levis, after indicating he was going to be here and he was going to compete for the job and he was going to stay here, et cetera, et cetera. So it looks as if Tennessee's going to have a new quarterback, and it looks like it's going to be Cam Ward. Second pick, Cleveland. This has to happen. Travis Hunter. This, obviously, the iconic cornerback, Heisman Trophy winner, the unicorn. He'll go to the Cleveland Browns. I guess the big debate in Cleveland right now, I texted back and forth with a friend of mine in the media there who covers the Browns. I said, there's a big debate whether it's Travis Hunter or somebody else, or is it just the debate what position Travis Hunter is going to play? And that's the big debate in Cleveland. Is he a better wide receiver than he would be a cornerback? So Cleveland, Travis Hunter. Third one, the Giants. They are desperate for a quarterback, but there's not a quarterback to be taken that high. This guy's really good. Abdul Carter. This is an off-the-ball blitz pressure defensive end pseudo linebacker. He's a monster. Sacks, tackles for losses, pressure. Abdul Carter, Penn State, does it all. The fourth one is New England. And they met over the weekend for a second time with this guy, Will Campbell, a big left tackle from LSU. Theory is he big enough to play left tackle, or might he really be better inside as a left guard? But it looks as if New England might be taking Will Campbell. Jacksonville is next. And most everybody of the opinion they are going to take Mason Graham, the massive, high-energy defensive tackle, University of Michigan. They have to do something like that because they gave up 390 yards a game in a disaster of a season in Jacksonville. If those first 5 picks fall the way they are, then the top running back in the country is going to be there, and they'll be celebrating in Vegas. Raiders, Ashton Gentry. They got to fix this offense, and Gentry is a piece of that equation, along with the quarterback, Geno Smith. Now, they still need help in the offensive line. They still need help to go get a wide receiver. They probably need some defensive line help, too. A lot of people writing this week, Gentry has the ability to be the next LaDainian Tomlinson. Pick 7 belongs to the New York Jets, and they need help lots of places. Of course, obviously, the Aaron Rodgers era is over. This guy's really climbed the board from the University of Missouri. Armand Membu, he is going to be the starting left tackle for the New York Jets if he winds up going there at 7. Carolina needs all types of defensive help. This is the best cover corner, tough guy, cornerback out of Texas, J.D. Barron. He'll go to the Carolina Panthers at 8. New Orleans is the weird one because they've got roster problems. They got Derek Carr salary cap problems, and they've obviously going to have a quarterback problem. There's all kinds of rumors that at one time they were looking at Shedeur Sanders, but that conversation didn't go well, and now they're looking at Jackson Dart. The only question is, the Ole Miss quarterback, and he's gotten progressively better and better as they've gone on, is that awful high to take him? Might you be better served to trade back a little bit, still get the chance to draft them and stockpile additional draft choices? But it looks like Saints and Dart are the right combo. And then the 10th pick is going to be Tyler Warren, we hear. Tight end, H-back, fullback, multi-purpose, tough guy out of Penn State. You're adding that kid to Caleb Williams, the rebuilt offensive line, because the Bears made a couple of trades in the offseason to go get 2 offensive line starters. All this is coming now under the umbrella of the new head coach, Ben Johnson. So this is going to be really, really fascinating. Now, are a couple of alternative things that have kind of surfaced on the floor of the draft in Green Bay this afternoon. One is that Jacksonville, as much as they need Mason Graham, might instead take Austin Genty at 5, which would then deny the Raiders the chance to get him. That would be a bit of a shocker. However, I've also been told from Vegas people that if that scenario happens, Jacksonville changes its mind, takes the running back, the Raiders at 6 would then just take the defensive tackle. And they need the defensive tackle because some other things are happening with veteran players on their roster. So keep an eye on that. So on the draft board right now, everything seems set in stone unless somebody does something different. If Jacksonville does something different that forces the Raiders to do something different, and then what does New Orleans do at 9? Stay there, take the quarterback, probably above from where he should be taken, or trade back some. So, John, pretty good-looking board you and our mascot Sniffer put together. What do you think about the way this thing's laid out? Anything you buy, anything you disagree with? Flash that board back up so people can see it again.
Okay, there's a lot going on here. Yeah. So a couple of comments. First of all, the way you describe Tyler Warren, this kind of Mr. Versatile, it's almost like the Scatabo kid from Arizona State, maybe just like a bigger, more enhanced version of him.
Yes.
And then in your one man's opinion, you were sharing a sort of a mock first-round draft by the writers at The Athletic.
Yes.
And they had Shedeur Sanders going number 6 to the Raiders. So why are you not seeing it the same way as them?
Just because everybody that I've networked with is of the opinion Shedeur has really fallen like a cement block in a pond. He has drifted way back into the first round. Some people have the opinion it might be the back total end of the first round before he gets taken. There's just too many glitches in his game. And then it's all supplemented by attitude and entitlement and how he's interacted with some of these people during the draft meetings and workouts. You know, I think he's hurt his own credibility with his entitlement, with his attitude. When he told the Giants weeks ago, I don't need to work out for you. I got 4 years of video. Just go watch me at Jackson State in Colorado. Then he changed his mind and he worked out Thursday in Boulder for just the New York Giants. This is after all this negativity has flowed around him. So each writer covering all these different teams has different ideas, but they're are the ones that are dealing with the clubs on a day-to-day basis, face-to-face. So that's why the writers' poll on the draft was really kind of cool to come across, and that's why I got it and put it up on our website so fans could see what the guys with a close-up perspective of each of the clubs they cover, what they think. I'm not sure why the Raider beat writer would pick Shedeur Sanders at 6 when nobody at this point is thinking Shedeur Sanders is the guy.
Yeah, the other interesting name on there was Jackson Dart at number 9. And, you know, we were not sure if he was even a first-round pick, but he's been kind of rising in the polls.
He's played pretty well the last 2 years at Ole Miss. He got better and better. Then he worked out for people, combine, etc., and then private workouts. He just seems to have grown in the estimation. Is he an instant star? No, I don't think so. He's probably, to me, based on what I get from other people, he's probably a better lock to be somewhere after 15 to 32, get drafted there. 9 to me is awful high. But New Orleans is in such a desperate situation now with this uncertainty about Derek Carr, and they lost their tackles, and they got salary cap problems. They got to get a quarterback. Otherwise, it can be a miserable season in New Orleans. And I don't know whether Derek Carr is going to be traded, whether he's going to be released. Anybody wants him at this point, and there's a cap figure. They're going to take a bad cap hit if they do that. So New Orleans is a mess. Dart might be the guy, but I don't know if Dart's the right guy at 9. Maybe if you trade back to 15 or even as far back as 18, you know, somebody else wants a run on one of these defensive players. You could still get Dart there, and then New Orleans could pick up additional draft capital.
Interesting. Now, the one other question I had, remember when we were doing the draft podcast episode with John Cooper from Our Lads, we were doing the analysis position by position, and you had Abdul Carter as a defensive end, but you had a whole other category of what you called edge guys, edge rushers. But is Abdul Carter an edge guy, or is he plays the pass and the run on the defensive line?
Both, because I think he's a down defensive end who's got pass rush ability. But Penn State used him all over the place. They'd have him down in the 3-point stance. They would drop him off the line of scrimmage and have him come. He has made such great progress as a rush guy from different dimensions. He's a really fine football player.
Yeah, I'm interested in learning more about it. But look at this. There's 2 Penn State guys in the top 10.
Exactly. Well, Penn State, pretty good football team this past season.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so that's a start. That's how the top 10 looks. If you're a football fan with us on this podcast, get into the fans forum chat box. Got a question, got a statement to make, at least with the rankings of the top 10. All right, John, next question.